Yeah, now I think it's live.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session by Optometry Council of India, where we are looking at, career options other than regular optometry practice or optometry into working in hospitals. These are three entrepreneurs that we have among us. One is Maheshwari, who is a graduate from Elite School of Optometry and then went on to do her post-graduation. And currently she is the founder of Core Idea Innovations, which is a company. And then we have Puneet, who is an optometrist as well. And he has started his own company, which is called as Cure C. And of course, Oli does not need any introduction. I think many of them, many of the young optometrists as well as the current optometrists know him. He is the founder of Binox, which is the system that we use for many of the binocular vision problems and vision therapy. So the moderator today, of course, is going to be Paula, who will interact with all the young entrepreneurs of today in optometry. Over to you, Paula.
Thank you, ma'am, and a very good afternoon to all the panelists and to all who are listening today. So this is the second part of our series of unconventional career options for optometry, and I'm very thankful that all three of you agreed to join us. So to start with, the first question, of course, is this is to everybody, but I would like to start with the lady in the house, Maheshwari. That please just maybe in a nutshell about can you share your journey with us from being a student in optometry and then into job and then into being an entrepreneur, and then maybe Puneet and Oli can chip in.
Yeah, I was very happy and satisfied with my job, and I was having a lot of ideas. So at one point of time that I wanted so much time. Okay, in the job, what I was missing was I wanted some time to work on my things of my own. So at one point I thought, okay, let me just quit and work on whatever I wanted to do it. So after I took this decision, of course, I am facing a lot of challenges in establishing my own and running this. I'm facing a lot of challenges, but it's really thrilling, and I love this. So over to the other entrepreneurs.
Definitely, I would agree with ma'am that this is quite thrilling to be an entrepreneur. And I would tell you that my goal was never to be in a 9 to 5 job. It is always to have something of my own. Because daily it brings me new challenges, gives me new opportunities. I never do the same thing daily. I have nothing such schedule. So, secondly, ever since my childhood, I was very keen into technology. I was keen into computers. If I can just take a minute, I would give you an example. When I was in just 6th standard, there is a software called AutoCAD. It is being used by the designers and the engineers for product designing purposes. So just because I had a computer in my house, I learned that and self-taught that to myself. Once I learned it, I didn't keep it to myself only. I taught AutoCAD to somebody of 65 years old of age at the age when I was just around a school kid going in 6th standard. So that was the time I noticed that okay, computer is the line for me. I'm going to go into this. Later on, things happen. I got into optometry. Was then also I was never into that. I want to do some job or I want to do this. I'm always into startup. I've seen my father struggling, and he's the biggest inspiration as he himself is a businessman. So that's how I learned, and I learned all those approaches, and this is kind of how I got into entrepreneurship. I'm sure Oli sir might say something about this also.
Right, inspiring. Both of you guys things are inspiring definitely. Mine is a little different to being into this forte at this point of time. So optometry career was a choice for me when I started, and many of us or of you know that when I was a kid in school, and then I had refractive error, and I went to eye doctor, and in that vicinity. I belong to a village in Bengal. So in that vicinity, when an eye doctor meant is optometry. So that kind of recognition they have, and the credibility they also have. So I fell in love with that profession at the age of 11. So moment after my 12th science, I got into optometry, and as a part of the career, I think that this evolvement happened as an entrepreneur. It was not a preset. Optometry career was only preset at that point of time. Now, how this entrepreneurship thing came is later stage when I was a part of chain of hospital and Krishna Eye Center in Mumbai, and I was also being into optometry clinical practice. I was heading the administration of the centers, and we're at the clinical audits, we're finding that there is something lacking into the practice management, especially the newcomers that comes. Typically, patient who comes with like eye strain, headache, and traditionally manage them with a pair of glasses, maybe anti-reflective coating, and some kind of lubricating eye drop. And those are that point of time I'm talking about 2013 or 15, that era, where just giving this lubricating eye drop and anti-reflecting coating glasses with plus 0.25 was not sufficient enough to actually hold them for the next time to come for your clinic. They used to hop between one clinic to another clinic because their core problem was undiagnosed. And then being into LVPI fellow, I also realized that something we are missing. And let's start with binocular vision assessment for this patient. And not to be as per surprise, it was clinically evident that convergence insufficiency is one of the major cause of this kind of problem. And similarly, we got it. So we are getting almost like symptomatic patient who has asthenopia, and they are getting into problem of this convergence and accommodation related issues almost in 40 to 60% cases. And when we started doing this practice, we could help them, those patients, or resolve the patient in a comprehensive manner. But the problems arised is doing the orthoptic evaluation. In a routine private practice, giving half an hour time only for orthoptics, it does not suffice. It's like you don't get that time to half an hour only for patient evaluation. Neither your employer will like it or not the patient to give that point of time. So that point of time, I think some scope of simplifying orthoptic evaluation came into mind. And probably I was not the only person who was thinking at that line. The time we came out with the program, we saw many programs are coming, evolving. So you know there are programs from US also that was there, though I was not aware of that much, but yes. So when we came up with this orthoptic tool just to do the assessment, and that point of time we used for only Krishna Eye Center as a beginning, and over a period of time that this can be actually replicated into multiple clinics. And the seed of entrepreneurship, I think, was seeded in that point of time. Okay, let's take maybe a startup of having franchise in multiple clinics of binocular vision into like shop and shop facility kind of thing, where you go and set up your binocular vision clinic into practice, or you can have something on your own simplified program, which might be you can give access to them. And that's why I think the Binox came into mind, and then we made the software made available to everybody at a reasonable model where everybody can utilize it and like assess this binocular vision patient. So this was a journey. So it's as life learning led to a different model and different kind of evaluation. So it's a little bit lengthy description, but
yes, and no, so that's about a journey basically. You know, we keep learning, and then when we pass out, we kind of it's an ocean, and we really don't know which direction to swim, and then slowly we get a feel of it. So continuing with this, your journey, I will again ask you that So what I understand from all three of you is, though you are now into this, quote unquote entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, but clinical skills are important. I mean, all three of you, you are whatever you're doing is related to your, what you have achieved in your clinics, and then you have kind of thought that, okay, I will do something of my own. So Oli, if you can, like, you just said that you found that, yes, this thing is lacking and I can try and do something. So if you can add a little more of, the area where you work, basically, because you are from a place which is not very accessible in West Bengal, and it is not very, it is not a city kind of it's a small town, basically. And then what about Maheshwari and Puneet? What do you feel that how important is clinical skills? And then, you can marry this kind of, having a skill and then going into business. So if only you can continue, and then maybe Maheshwari and Puneet, you can add on.
Sure. Absolutely. So when you have a skill set, then only you realize what the need and the gap, and that's the time you wish to bridge that gap with the innovation or whichever tools that you wish to do. So if you have a right kind of skill set, clinical skills to manage certain condition, I think that makes you a perfect solution for that kind of patient. So when I started talking about this component of asthmatic patient, it was the skill set that picked up, okay, don't manage only with a lubricating eye drop for a patient who coming with you eye strain and headache. It's something beyond. Now, as I told you, being an LBPI fellow, you know the clinical skills that you do, the kind of evaluation you do. You do a core competency test, like very good at refraction, doing a retinoscopy, or you can just quickly doing a dynamic retinoscopy come to know whether the accommodation is proper, response is proper or not. Or even the orthoptic evaluation, like doing like fusional virgin test. It is quite easy. It's cakewalk for us. But to become that quick orthoptic evaluation, you need to have a right kind of skill set, and it evolves. When you start practicing it, when you keep doing it, it evolves into a next step. I think that was a major seed, and then you try to like build upon from your core competency, and then slowly you blend what is needed. Like once you have this right kind of skill set, you need to have that kind of what Puneet was talking about, the coding skills. But it need not be that you do on yourself. But if you have right kind of manpower or teamwork that you have, you can again manage those. So again, adding a business perspective to it, having a business administrator skill set to it, training to it, I think made it a perfect combination of clinical plus administration thing led to entrepreneurial kind of phase.
Yeah. Maheshwari, you have always been teaching, like you are mostly into, teaching and as well as clinic. So what has been, like, what is your experience, if you can add?
Yeah, clinical experience, as you said, it's really, really important. And actually, the innovation comes from the real life problems. Okay, so the real life problems, you get it only from the clinic. You have to go to the clinic and you have to see the patient, and you have to see what is the problem that the patient is facing. Then only the idea comes. So innovation is actually born in the clinic only. So it's very important to practice. I do practice once in a week. So we have a system like where they pull in all the patient appointments for contact lens fitting once in a week, and I go and see these patients. And once in a week I am teaching. So I'm just managing this also because you have to be inside the industry. You should not totally go out and know what's happening in the industry. If you don't know, the next level of innovation will not come. So it's very important to be in touch with the area.
Yeah. And Puneet, you have been, like, you are the youngest in the lot, so you have passed out, and I could understand from what you're saying that you always had a passion of, working for yourself. But what is your take in this? That is really clinical skills are important?
Yes, ma'am. I do agree that clinical skills are important. Actually, the field of the sector that we all are working is health tech. It is made by combining two words, healthcare and technology. So when both of these meet, then only it can be considered as entrepreneurship in optometry. So if there was no clinical knowledge or there was no clinical push to it, I don't think there would be any QC or any of our enterprise in the real world. The reason being, I'll give you an example. When I was sitting with my professor, he saw the patient. He told the patient that there is no cure for your condition. And Oli sir would agree that it is quite common that even many practitioners nowadays also say no to a patient for amblyopia. The only reason is the lack of awareness, lack of clinical expertise. Right? There are options available for all the patients. The practitioners are just not much aware. Not everybody, but a segment of it. So that's where we made the decision that we need to make something and we need to reach out to the audience so that everybody can be benefited. So that was the vision, and obviously clinical skill is required, because without clinical skill, how can we integrate anything into a software or into any company? Right? It needs to be a health tech if it is going to be entrepreneurship in optometry.
Right. I can't agree anymore. Lakshmi, you want to ask something?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. Oli was on a very lighter note. Being a fellow from LVP, and then he says half an hour for binocular vision evaluation. Dr. GC will be banging on the door and saying, "Come out of the place."
Absolutely.
Not more than 5 minutes. So I was just thinking from where. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's where he got the inspiration. I think that's where he got the inspiration, saying I have to do something very quick for the problem and not, take half an hour of the clinic time for evaluation. Just on a, fun note, I was just thinking of that only. That's all, nothing else.
Even the moment it crosses 5 minutes, you can see somebody looking at the thick glasses from your door, and then somebody is looking at you.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, that's right.
You can see those eyes. Absolutely, like a tiger is just looking at you from the door.
No, but what I feel from
and Puneet,
like whoever is listening to us, it is like it is a very, very strong message that we need to be good at our basics. That is very, very important. So that is a very strong message which has come out from all the panelists today, and I think Lakshmi, you will also agree to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, you have to have basic optometry knowledge. After that, polish your skills. Even as a graduate, it is not enough. I feel like how Oli did, go on, do a fellowship or something. Or for example, you look at Maheshwari, she has her own experience into academics and things. Puneet would have his own experience in practice and looking at the practitioner attitude and all of that. So it's with time that you develop these kind of skills sets over a period of time with your experience. So as Maheshwari says, life teaches you. So it is with the experience that you learn, and then after that, it's not that today I graduate, tomorrow I want to become entrepreneur. There is no magic formula that is available with anybody. I think all of them would agree to that.
Yes. So now moving around to a little different question. We have now all agreed that yes, clinical skills are required, and then you learn, and then you kind of decide. But then when you have decided that okay, now I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to open up a company. So our viewers definitely would like to know, because all three of you are into different sectors. Puneet, you are into AI. Maheshwari, you are doing something on innovation, and you're also doing your PhD. Oli, you already have kind of a setup software. You have already done that. So in order to set up a company, what are the basic requirements, which a person needs to understand? So maybe we'll start with Puneet first, and then Maheshwari and Oli can pitch in.
Yes. So to start with a company, the first thing you would require is an idea. Idea with clarification of what are you going to do and how are you going to impact the market around. We should be having a clear plan, and along with it, we should never think that this is something part-time. I see many people, what they do is, okay, I'm doing my job 9 to 5, post 5, I'll do this for 1 hour. I'll dedicate 1 hour for entrepreneurship, and this is how I go. But usually this don't work out. The reason being you can't be having one foot in the boat and one foot on the ground. You will never pass the ocean with this. So you need to get full time into entrepreneurship, and then you need when you decided and you have a clear blueprint in front of you that this is what I'm going to do. Either I'm going to open a clinic or anything of such sort. Then you need certain people like CA, like lawyer, accountant. They are going to help you out in the registrations. Because to run any enterprise, it is very recommended. And obviously, it is good to always run it legally. And legally, you require GST registration, certificate of incorporation, and many other. Like it would be quite boring if I name each and everybody of this, but many such small registrations are required. Then over a period of time, you learn about the financial knowledge that comes with time only. That you understand, okay, I need to put this at this much cost. I need to what was the market you are serving and how much are they willing to pay you. You need to adjust to this. Once you achieve this, that would be called product market fit, and then only you can run a successful enterprise.
Okay, Oli, you want to add something to that?
Maybe, yeah, definitely. I think there are a lot of things common into like when you start any kind of enterprise. But in coming to the registration part, specifically what you asked for, there are different subset of documents or the kind of basic requirements are there for different kind of companies. So if you, it is dependent on whether you are registering as just only own like one venture, or you are looking at private limited company, or you're looking something called LLC. So there are many options. So you have to choose the right kind of things that you're looking at. So suppose you are looking at maybe a private limited company where it has given its own advantages of like becoming more and more funding, because as Punit was talking about the financial part. So when you have a private limited company, that makes it more effective tool. Now to register that, you need to have a DIN registered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, MCSI. And once you have a directorship registered with that, you can submit your documents, and it's very quick process. Like you submit your scope of work, that what you are planning to do with this company, and you submit your basic requirements like maybe Aadhaar details, and the DIN. Nowadays, digital signature become a mandatory for Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So you submit this, and it is as straightforward as registering it. So it do not require a lot of hassles. So very recently, I feel the Indian government has done a tremendous job to simplify for any kind of business registration and for startups. So there is no major hiccup. Now, how to run the organization is a different ballgame together. So you need to have a team of like strategize the concept, the business aspect, do the financial planning, and ultimately the execution of the planning. So you need to have a different subset of skills, and team of those people can run this organization as a successful way. So for registration, it is very straightforward. You need to go to the MC website and fill your details. And it's one of the simplest tasks that one has in today's time. And all thanks to the Indian government, which made this a very simple process.
Yes, but I like how Puneet said we need to have an idea first. That's good. That's great.
That maybe for before the registration, the prototype, the ideation, and then validation of that idea has to be before registering a company. Because once you are registered, that means you are already done with your validation part and maybe kind of things that you have done.
So coming to Maheshwari, so we are seeing you, okay, as like, you know, you have kind of established what you wanted, and this is a very rosy picture what we are seeing. But what about challenges? Because Maheshwari, you in the beginning said that yes, there are challenges, and I'm sure that there will be challenges. So what are the challenges, you know, you face, and how do you cope up? Because it's an everyday kind of an affair. So how do you do it?
Yeah, I will tell you some of the challenges, and I will also tell you the solutions, how I am managing it. It's basically the financial thing of running a company is a major challenge that we are facing. So and in this journey, I have learned a lot. Okay, so a lot of governmental and non-governmental organizations which are supporting in terms of funds. So and there are universities which are supporting. For example, I will just tell you that the Wales University, which is near our house, where I competed for us, there was a startup pitch competition. I went there and presented my work, and they were very impressed, and they told that you can use our university as your office space. No, you need not have a office space of your own. Okay, so because of the pandemic, I'm just running it from home only, but I'm just telling you, know, there are people to support you if when you're at the startup stage. And I've approached another university also, which is there in Chennai, which is Crescent University. So they have an innovation and incubation center. So they it's not see, I've approached these 2 3 universities, but there are a lot, maybe I don't know, a lot many other universities which are supporting students, students with their idea, and also individuals with an idea. Okay, some of the universities, they only support their own students for their innovation, but some of the universities, they support outsiders also. When you have a good idea, they support it. They are supporting from the scratch, from patenting, so from everything they are supporting. So this is what I found. And another thing how I'm managing is, you know, I need to have see, in case if I get collaborate with one of the university, I can have the support of their university interns to get some engineering support in that. So that is one possibility. So another thing I would say that but you know, sometimes the interns expertise won't be enough for what you want. So I have expert engineers with me. But what I have done is I have set up a team. So that is very important, that the leadership and setting up the team. And I'm so thankful that our team is so good and very cooperative, and I'm not paying any salary for our team. So I've told them that I will be giving you share of my profit. Okay, I don't know when the profit is going to come, but they are working for me without asking any questions. So this is what, you know, you have to create that relationship, and that friendly leadership is required, so that you know, people will be working for you without asking anything, and people will be trusting you that you will be doing something for them in future. So that is how I am managing things right now.
Okay, okay. Lakshmi, we are smiling.
Yeah, just a comment, Maheshwari, and for the others also. Ramesh is also, Dr. Ramesh of
Yes,
Manipal,
yes.
he's also working in similar lines. So he set up a company, and the university kind of helps him, the Manipal University, because it is a startup, and they also kind of support him with engineering and other stuff. So it really helps in a huge university setup like what Maheshwari says, basically because you have translational research. What I mean by translation is people from, you can have people from microbiology background or professors from microbiology. You'll have engineering background. You'll have somebody else with clinical background. So they all combine their knowledge to look at some innovation. And I feel, you know, in a few years, India is definitely going to shine in this category, because there's so many youngsters and there's so much of in terms of ideas. Continue, Paula.
Yes.
Right. Maybe if you give me a time, maybe I can comment upon. So I think having luxury of like institutional support of major universities and all those things are limited to the faculties. Might be it's not for open for everybody, or not
Everybody, yes, correct.
not all.
Correct.
But for those who are thinking not to be disheartened, Startup India is one of the major place. You show your idea, you present your idea. If somebody like, don't worry about the ideation to be materialized into a company. So there are people who is going to help you. So keep an eye on the Startup India. So present your ideas, get it selected, and you will get a lot of things that you don't have.
Also, there is crowdfunding now. So financially also startups do get supported through these crowdfunding. But one word of caution, which Puneet said very, very nicely, in terms of saying, I'll do a 9 to 5 job, I will get that salary also, and then after 5 o'clock, I will invest on my, company. That will not work. You have to, especially when you're getting into a business. See, at the end of the day, this is a business, correct? What your own company, and it's a business. So you have to invest time into it. If you feel that it is not going to be your full-time passion, then don't take up something like that where you cannot, it is not your passion. And if you cannot dedicate time towards that, then this is not your cup of tea. You'll have to look at something else. Unless and until I think you have the passion, you have the dedication towards that, you're going to give your heart and soul into that particular idea, and no matter what, you're going to make that successful. That is when you delve into these kind of things, because like Maheshwari said, immediately you will not get profit. You have to wait, because in terms of innovation, you have to wait for the model to first of all succeed. The prototype has to be okay. After the prototype is okay, then you will do a field analysis. Then after that, you will get a feedback, then do modification. So it is like doing 10 PhDs together. So you should be a bit patient, is what I feel. That is just a word of caution, and you need to have that dedication. Over to you, Paula. I don't know whether I said anything wrong. You can ask feedback from the others.
No, I think it is right on track, and you also are kind of running a business. Yeah, you wear many hats basically, so we always take inspiration from you. So Puneet, this is like this is the challenges we discussed. But during this pandemic, it's been almost 2 years. We have been hit very badly, and we know that it's like a lot of people have lost their jobs. There's a lot of crisis. How did you manage this the organization of yours? What challenges, and how did you maintain your patience, because you have must have patient base? How did you keep continuing contacting with them and telling them that yes, things are okay? And what was your experience for this COVID time?
Yes, ma'am. So the first challenge is when there was complete lockdown in the country, even patients are worried that if they go to any hospital or any eye care, either clinic or optical, they are worried that can they get the infection. So the OPDs are usually running less in every hospital. So what we adopted at that time is teleconsultation. Patients can directly go to the website, book a teleconsultation slot with us, and then they can consult with us regarding their vision problems. If it is something of an emergency, obviously they can get to the eye care hospital. Otherwise, they are very much happier with the service being provided at their own homes. Second challenge was, I think, as I mentioned earlier, also lack of awareness regarding amplified treatment in India specifically. So, for overcoming that challenge, what we did is we started training programs. We started training the optometrists, opticians regarding vision therapy, the benefits of vision therapy, recommended few courses to them. Then when they got a complete structural idea of what vision therapy is and how it can benefit their patients. So that is how we overcame that challenge.
And only yours is kind of a software base. So was it like same as earlier, or during the pandemic you had to make some changes, and then you have to adapt according to the situation? Or what? How was it?
That's the part and person of life. Whenever there is a barrier, you have to find a path to reach your goal. So COVID is nothing exceptional from that point of view. So as rightly Puneet mentioned, that the moment pandemic started, that suddenly the clinical footfall became zero for the patient, almost zero. Not only the patients, even the caregivers are similarly affected with that like fear of getting into this problem. Now the adaptability has to be there to make your program best suited for that point of time. I think it teaches you that what way that you can break that barrier. And we made it, it's a telehealth tool now. So you manage your patient completely at a remote setup, including the diagnostic. So you can do the assessment, you can treat it, do the post follow-up. So that kind of innovation came into place due to COVID. It's very similar, like once the river wish to meet the sea, and then you can't prevent until unless it meets it. Whether it's a hill comes or something, it will change its path, but it is going to meet the unmet need. So similar way, if you have your goal set, or your in this case like patient, the treating the patient with whatever amblyopia or computer vision syndrome. So when your mindset is there that I have to provide service, whether it's a pandemic or something, you have to just change your track a little bit, tweak it, and make it suitable for that environment. And that's how the innovation is. You have to keep on working on those perspectives to best suit you.
Yes, and I think I think this pandemic taught us a lot of things, and this adaptability is one. We have been studying in our biology classes the Darwin's theory, the suitability and adaptability, and this is what we have been doing. And whoever is the fittest will survive. So, and I think we have been doing pretty well till now, and this will pass soon. Great to hear. Lakshmi, any comments from Facebook you would like to say?
No,
Okay.
everybody is kind of saying clinical, when we said that clinical skills are important, they're all commenting saying, yes, that is very important. And I think one of them was also saying, asking which is good, Binox or QRC. I think we'll come to that question at the end of the discussion rather than now, I think. And both are very different based. One is AI based, whereas the other one is totally different. So I think we'll address that question much later.
Yes. So, like during what we were discussing, and this question came up regarding, and it was Maheshwari's kind of she pitched in and said that this is very important. We should discuss this, and I'm sure Puneet and Oli will also agree that our traditional education system, because what we have been experiencing is like entrepreneurship is something which is in our profession. I would address. It is like we have been seeing that okay, family business hai, so after I complete my degree, I will join the family business. But then getting out of the shelf and then putting up someone's my own idea, and then kind of addressing all the challenges and then setting up a company. This is something which requires a lot of heart and guts. Now what I feel is in our traditional teaching system somewhere there is lacking, wherein these soft skills or these skills which are required to make yourself not only a student or a clinical practitioner, and then giving some idea of okay that I will require maybe to learn a little computer, to learn a little whatever is required, basically finance, how to people management, all these things. Do you think that we are lacking in this, and in this in our education system right now what we have? Is it really a high time that things like this should be inculcated, something like a finishing school? So Maheshwari, I would like to you to start, because you have a lot of ideas and you are also doing something. Your PhD topic is on something like this. So if you can speak on this behalf, and tell all our viewers that what is your view basically.
Yeah, so I have wide experience in teaching, and I know handling students. I know, whenever you give them something, you do this, they do it. Okay, maybe if you tell them something creatively, so if they tell them to, for example, just to select their project, ma'am, you tell me what is the project, I will do it. So don't tell me to think of what the project that I have to do. So this something is really lacking that we are seeing. So I was having this thought for a very long time, and after coming into innovation, I was learning what all things that I need to learn for becoming innovative. So I thought, okay, let me give all this to the students so that they become creative. So in this idea only I took up my PhD. So my PhD topic is how to it's developing pedagogical methods for creating a person into an innovator. Okay, so it is like a formula that I am creating, where you bring any human being so that you give them use this formula, teach them A, B, C, D, finally they become innovator. So this is what I am doing it. So to just tell you, I'm in the early stage of my PhD, but I'll just tell you few points whatever I am going through. So, Edison said, lack of school education is my blessing. Okay, somebody who didn't go to school, he says that it's my blessing. Because of that only, my creativity has developed. So, what is there behind this creativity? So, as you see the case study of Puneet, so he has optometry knowledge and also he has this software knowledge. Both he is able to connect it. And I went through the different case studies like this. We see all these innovators had this connection, so they have two different fields and they are able to connect it. You take anybody like Einstein or any case studies, you see that they have everybody knows Dr. Paul Rose, right? So we know him as an optometrist, but he's a good mathematician, and we must all know this. No, you need to have another discipline so that your brain naturally connected. So he says, Dr. Paul Rose says, designing this Rosque contact lenses is it's a complex maths basically. So and whenever he is lecturing, he's talking about the contact lenses, and he doesn't talk about this mathematics behind it. But he also says, when I talk about this mathematics, people are running away. So we are only concerned about this, the contact lenses fitting, fluorescent pattern, and all that maths part behind. We are just missing it. And another example which I can tell you is like a full threshold test in the perimetry. If you see that, we all remember that in olden days, it used to take half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. So how this full threshold has become Sita standard, it is because of the knowledge of probability theory. Okay, this Bayesian statistics, all that came, and one of the optometrists who learned R programming, so he coded all this. So it's not that only an optometrist will do only optometry, So this interdisciplinary is required. So how to give this interdisciplinary, how to make it as a proper curriculum. So this is what I am working on with my PhD. So I will just post my mail ID in the Facebook. So if you are interested, you can approach me, because when I'm designing in this in this designing period, maybe I'm looking for students who are as participants for my study, so it will be mutually helpful. So so you can contact me. So hopefully we will get some revolution in this field of innovation. We'll get more thinking students in future.
Okay, all right, great. So I think we can always ask whoever is watching, and then we can always ask the various schools with whom we are connected, so that volunteers can come and help you for your project.
I just have a small question, totally different from what we have discussed till now. And this is to all of you. Okay. See, if when you look at, especially optometrists in practice, at least in our time now, maybe it is slightly different over a period of time. But they always used to look at family background. If the family is into optometry practice, then they're more confident to get into practice rather than first generation. People graduating and starting their own practice is slightly increasing now. So given that, and also given that you don't have any job security in terms of a job. So when you go for a job, every first you get your salary, you have your timings of 9 to 5, you know what your responsibilities are, extra headache nahi hota hai, and things like that. Whereas in a business, of course, you're your own boss, and things that is also there. But in the beginning, as a youngster, I'll start with maybe Puneet, the youngest. So what gave you that courage? What gave you that courage to say, okay, I'm not going to go for a job which is 9 to 5, although I get my salary and all of that. And what gave you that support saying that, okay, I'll start something like this?
So my father always used to say, अगर समस्या है तो उसका समाधान भी है. So if there is a problem, there is a solution. So I always had a problem-solving approach to everything. Nowadays, I tell the fellow optometrists and the students that you can think of many ideas around optometry optometry also. Suppose one of them is reducing the waiting time in OPD. The patient, daily we see that patients are waiting for hours in the OPD. What can we do? What innovation can we do that can motivate the fellow optometrists, or that can facilitate the patients so they don't get to stress this much? So we need to think much, and then we do not need to think about the securities. because अगर pressure आएगा तो आप कुछ भी करोगे, अगर pressure नहीं होगा तो हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे. एक security के साथ एक rest period आ जाता है. The days security you are
complacency आ जाता है.
Yes.
So basically you don't feel the need to, there's no motivation basically otherwise.
yes.
Okay, so it is like saying, some people who are listening might say, Bell, mujhe maar kind of a thing. It is like pressure nahi hai, magar pressure more lo, aisa hai. Okay, and Maheshwari, you?
Yeah, so as I already told you, it is financially tough only. I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs stories early morning. There are a lot of YouTube videos, success stories, and they say that they just say that I faced 1 crore loss, 2 crore loss. After that, I earned 200 crores, like that. No, this is like a lot of stories, real life stories. I just keep motivating myself, and I just strongly believe that if you have a strong thought, and one day it comes. So and actually facing a lot of challenges really now. So but the spirituality and the other motivational speakers thoughts, and they are keeping me on the track.
Only you. So given a chance, like, between a choice at that time, I'm saying, just looking back, at that time, if somebody gave you a good, well-paid job versus this, what would have been your this thing? Push, or you really strongly felt that this is something that we can develop, and that is what actually pushed you into this and take the risk. It is a big risk.
Absolutely. I think answer is very straightforward. So there, a post fellowship, obviously there are a lot of jobs which were there, which was high paid, and there are a satisfactory one like being in clinical as well. Either you choose a corporate life or be into clinical life. So you have to put importance to your core competency. So my core competency was into clinical patient management, and to a great extent, I gave a lot of regards to or due regards or learning to Vijay Kumari ma'am and Deepak Bagga. The reason being, they taught how to be patient with the patient, how to convince them to overcome the problem. So managing a simple patient, I don't think is very a challenging task. But managing patient who has a disability and overcome that disability is a toughest task. And I learned a lot from these two people, and then that put into me a clinical practice. I mean, clinical practice, as I told you, when you have problem, as Puneet was saying, when there is a problem, there is a solution for it. So you think about it, but it has to be so robust that somebody put confidence into you, and somebody pay or believe in your thought process and ready to take the risk. For me, it is not that I have taken the whole lot of risk into getting into it. It is the mentor who helped me to get into it. So in the real life, I feel role of mentor is enormous. To my viewpoint of like thinking, if you see, I don't see any entrepreneur who has this success without a mentor, right kind of mentor. So mentor plays a great role, whether it's a financial mentor or like devising your project, handling your project, you need somebody like this. So that kind of skill set from a mentor helps you. So for me, it is not me who has to take the whole lot of risk. Equally, the mentor takes the risk. So it's your learning curve, and the mentor help you to be part of an entrepreneurial journey. Directly, probably it was not a right choice to go directly into any kind of entrepreneurship. Maybe different for Puneet, maybe different from Maheshwari Manavar. Not for me.
Okay. No, I think you very, very valid points from everybody. One is, I think you have to be a good listener if you're a clinician. which is very, very valid what Oli said. More than speaking, you have to listen. So you listen to all their problems and history, and it may not be related to the eye alone. There can be even family issues which they come and discuss with you over a period of time. I'm sure they just need people to listen to, I think, and they have that confidence in you. So that kind of works. And second thing that I really thought was that something came out from all of you is you have to come up with a product that is applicable to many of them, not just a community of people or a section of people. So what you make as an startup, the product that you develop needs to reach the masses. So I think in that formula, if you get that right, I think that's really very important. I think that way both Puneet and Oli have been quite successful in terms of the reach of the product to as many people as possible, and not say, okay, this product is only for this section of people or something like that. Example, if I have to give it, is like Maruti versus Mercedes Benz or something like that. I'm just giving a very crude example. In terms of accessibility and availability, I think as long as the product as many people as possible, I think that really makes the difference. And I think you both have kind of succeeded in that kind of an approach. So congratulations to both of you. And Maheshwari will be there pretty soon, I think.
Yes, and I think Maheshwari's topic is very, very different, and it will help a lot of students in the long run. And I really urge all the students who are listening to maybe contact with Maheshwari. We can always share the email ID and volunteer for a project. That is a request to our platform. And okay, so we have come to the end of the session, and so before ending, just maybe one point from each one of you to all the viewers who are aspiring, maybe have some idea in mind, but they are not brave enough to go and stand up and say that, okay, fine, I do this, or maybe don't want to leave their job, a lot of inhibitions. So maybe one points from each which will motivate them, and to take this leap basically. So
Mala, before they start thinking on that point, I just want to read out a few comments, if you don't mind. So Jaya Rajini is saying, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Jaya Rajini is saying, classic Maheshwari, allow the thoughts to flow with no inhibitions, break conventional thinking and prejudgmental notions. Great going, all speakers. Okay, and then one more comment I was looking at. Just give me a minute. Okay, one more comment is awesome. Oli, challenge the challenge, way to go. That's one more comment that's coming. And patience is the mantra, precisely. That's the mantra. And of course, as I said, comments on the clinical experience being very important. So I think overall, it's all been positive comments. Now I think over to what she was asking. If you have to say one message for, let's say, people who want to start up on their own, what would it be? Who wants to go first? Maheshwari, you want to go first?
Yeah. So if you have any idea, just don't think that it's a silly idea what others will think. First of all, reveal your idea to your close circle. Okay, so tell them and then ask opinion, and talk to somebody. Don't leak out your idea, but talk to somebody who can trust you, and get some opinion, and make a small circle. Make somebody who supports you. Okay, otherwise you will feel you're alone. So that's very important, and you just strongly believe in your idea. Okay, so don't think what others will think. Will my product go in the market? So don't think. First of all, strongly believe in your idea, and then study a lot. Okay, learn a lot of online courses. Continuously keep studying. So I will be posting some of the courses, and I will also post some of the funding announcements. Okay, so there is some funding announcement that there's a 20 lakh prize for a good idea, and there's another announcement that it's up to 2 crore they are giving depending upon the idea. So I will be posting all these links so that you could get an idea. No? So just you can click on that. What are they asking when before giving the funding? It's a form that you fill it up. Just simply fill the form and see how it is. You will get an idea of how this the market is there, how they are funding it, and just go along with the trendy idea. So, for example, recently we saw that government of India was is immediately ready to fund any COVID related idea. No, so I mean whatever is there, the trend now. So just go along with the trend. That will take your idea. No, you can win in the competitions. So all the best for everyone. I wish more people coming into innovation.
Great. So yes, Oli.
Okay, I thought I'll be ending with maybe. Okay, for me, success mantra is only one. If you have any idea or ideation, innovation, you have to stay focused until it made your success. So don't deviate from your dream. Maybe there are tough times which will come, but the tough times are meant for a new path to reach the success. So stay focused until you achieve your dream.
Great. And Puneet?
Yes, ma'am. So I'd say whatever you are doing, just take a pause of 5 minutes and think, what do you want to achieve in your life? When you have that particular thing ready with you, then you need to plan how are you going to do that, by a job, by entrepreneurship, or by any other means. Every goal is different. Everybody has different goals. It is not necessary you should go into entrepreneurship or into job or anything. Whatever your goal is, work towards that. There'll be many failures, many challenges, many people who push you down, but there'll be good days, there'll be rewarding days as well. So that would be the ending note from my side.
Great. So Lakshmi ma'am, your ending comments?
I think they've all been, great, successful models. And thanks to Maheshwari for posting those links. I'll post it on our Facebook as well so that everybody gets access to those links. Thank you, Maheshwari. And, like Oli says, just as long as you have the passion and you know that's the goal, just stick to it and not deviate. You will have challenges. As Maheshwari says, she's still facing challenges. Just imagine at this phase of life when she can, spend the time and energy with it. I'm sure youngsters will have enough and more in hand in terms of, time and things to settle down as far as career is concerned. So I think they themselves are the motivators. So I don't have anything to add or say. Thanks, but to all of you for having shared your experiences and your time. I think this is something, I was just thinking, if you look at the optometry education system, there is nothing to enthuse young optoms in terms of starting their own business or starting a private practice or, become entrepreneurs in some way or the other. It's all something that they learn on the job as they work. So maybe educational institutions can think of something like this and have a segment on this and invite people like you where you can share your experiences, invite practitioners who've been successful like Rajesh Wadhwa, Yashwant, Prasad, all of them, and then get their inputs like that. So that I think is something that we are lacking in our system of optometry education, and it will be good to have that as well in the colleges. That is just something that I wanted to add. Thanks everybody for your time and for all that you shared with us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here. Thanks to us.
And we will be sharing the link with all the colleges and all our members as well, so that they have this, they can hear to this wonderful session. And we hope to see you physically also very soon. Yes. Okay.
Right.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you for OCI for arranging this.
Thank you.
Thanks to the listeners for bearing us.